Hello people, welcome to your lesson. Today we are going to page 31, okay? Let's repeat the new content. To shake hands, a handshake. To bow, a bow. To kiss, a gesture. To embrace, a wave. To wave. Body language. To meet, met. To compliment, a compliment. A hug, to hug. Okay, to shake hands, guys, is a way to say hello to people. Okay, when you put your hand to the hand of the other person, you shake hands. Okay, to shake hands is the verb, a handshake is the noun. Okay? To bow. To bow, guys, is a way that Japanese people greet other people. Okay? They stand in the front of the person they want to greet, and they do this. This is to bow. Okay? A bow is the complement. Okay, so I have made a bow. Or a bow is a device used to shoot an arrow. So there is a sport called bow and arrow. Okay? Bow is something like this. Okay? With a rope right here. And an arrow is this. Okay? So this is the bow. Okay? The word rainbow, okay, bow comes from this form, bow. And also that thing that some girls, young girls normally use on their heads to hold the hair back is also called a bow, okay? To kiss is to touch with somebody with your lips, to kiss, okay? A gesture, similar to Portuguese, gesture is what we communicate without saying anything. Okay, for example, I am making gestures with my hands. Okay? To embrace people. And the last word on the second column, to hug, they are synonyms. Okay? To hug is much more common when we are talking about physical greeting, physical reaction. So, to hug is to put your arms around another person. A hug is the noun, okay? So, to embrace can also mean that, to put your arms around another person. But to embrace is also used in the abstract sense. For example, if you are offered a new job, a new opportunity, or something different in your life, and you accept it, you are embracing it, embracing the opportunity, working for it. Okay, you are accepting the opportunity. Okay, a wave is the noun, to wave is the verb. They have, to wave means to say hello or goodbye with your hands. I am waving, okay? A wave is the name of the complement, the noun. But a wave is also the movement made by the water in the seas, okay? It's provoked by the wind, okay? So, and then the water grows and forms waves, okay? Waves is where surfers surf, okay? Body language is the way that our body communicates. So body language can include gestures, can include hugs, can include, some expressions in our face. This is also body language, okay? To meet, you already know, it's only here because it's irregular. The three forms are meet, met. It means to encounter. Okay, to meet someone. A compliment. A compliment is the same as a greeting, okay? Or something good that we tell somebody. For For example, oh, you are beautiful, you look beautiful. It's a compliment. Okay? To compliment is the verb. Okay, and the verb to hug, a hug we have seen together with the verb to embrace. Okay? So, let's repeat. It is common to shake hands in the UK, but we should bow in Japan. Do you kiss when you first meet people? In order to compliment people when we are driving, we can wave. She was happy because he finally embraced her idea. There are many types of gestures in the world. Let's practice. Don't forget to pause the video before my answer, okay? Are there many forms of complimenting people in the world? Yes, there are many forms of complimenting people in the world. Is body language an important part of cultures around the world? Yes, body language is an important part of cultures around the world. Is it a common gesture to kiss people when you are complimenting them in your country? Yes, it's a common gesture to kiss people when you are complimenting them in my country. What country uses a bow when meeting somebody? Japan is the country which uses a bow when meeting somebody. Who is using a pink bow in her hair? Elizabeth is the person who's using a pink bow in her hair. Whose book is this? I don't know whose book that is. How do you like to greet people when you meet them for the first time? I like to greet people with a handshake when I meet them for the first time. Is it common for people to hug in China? No, it's not common for people to hug in China. Which continent has many nationalities which like to hug each other when they meet? South America has many nationalities which like to hug each other when they meet. Who's the person waving at Derek? Meredith is the person waving at Derek. Is Great Britain a country where people like to compliment each other with a handshake? Yes, Great Britain is a country where people like to compliment each other with a handshake. Have you ever visited a country where people bow? No, I have never visited a country where people bow. Okay guys, another new content, page 32. Let's repeat. To be depressed, depression, mental, to control, therapy, a therapist, anxiety, to cope with, to push yourself, a challenge, a view, to suffer, to rely on, to be confident, a psychologist, a psychiatrist, a shrink, a disorder. Very good. Guys, to be depressed is what we use to say that, we say, oh, he is depressed because he is a little sad, okay? Not very well, he's feeling a little blue. So, depression is the name of the disease. Very similar to Portuguese, okay? It's a mental disease. Mental is anything related to our minds. Mental, just like Portuguese. To control, just like Portuguese. Therapy, just like Portuguese. a therapist, just like Portuguese. Anxiety, very similar to Portuguese. It's also a mental disorder. It's when people want something to happen even though they know it's not going to happen. So they feel anxious. They feel anxiety. Okay? To cope with. To cope with, guys, means to deal with something or to manage something successfully. Okay? To push yourself is to force yourself to do something. Okay? To put an extra effort to do something. Okay? A challenge. A challenge is a very difficult task. A very difficult thing to do. Okay? A view. Something that we can see from a point. For example, if you go up Pedra do Baú, if you climb up Pedra do Baú, you have a beautiful view from all the sides that you can see. To suffer. To suffer, guys, is similar to Portuguese, not quite the same. Okay, but to suffer means to experience pain, hunger, loss, change, defeat. Okay, so people suffer from all these things. For example, many people suffer a lot when something has to be changed in their lives. Okay, so they suffer, they don't like it. Okay? To rely on means to count on somebody, to have somebody there. It's a person that you can count on, you can rely on. That person is always there for you. To be confident. Guys, confident is to feel or to show confidence. Okay, to feel trust, to feel that you are prepared to do something. Okay, when you prepare, for example, for the English test, if you study, okay, if you ask questions during the lessons and if you study, you feel confident. You don't feel nervous or anxious when you are doing the test. You feel confident. Okay, psychologists, psychiatrists are just like Portuguese too, okay? One important thing is that we do not pronounce the letter P. Psychologist, psychiatrist, okay? A shrink. A shrink is an informal name that Americans use to call a psychologist, a psychiatrist, or a therapist too, okay? They call them shrink. It's a general name. When they do therapy, they say, oh, I'm going to see my shrink, okay? And a disorder is an illness, okay? For example, depression is a mental disorder, or anxiety is a mental disorder, okay? It can be treated, but it's an illness, it's a disorder, okay? So, let's repeat. Oh, sorry. Another important thing is that the difference between a psychologist and a psychiatrist is that a psychologist goes to psychology school, okay, university. A psychiatrist goes to the med school. He's a doctor, okay. Psychiatrist is a degree that they do after medical school, okay. Good. So, let's repeat. It is sometimes hard to push yourself when you're not confident enough. The students can rely on their teachers to help them. We can say shrink instead of psychiatrist, psychologist, or therapist. Depression is a big problem in society nowadays. Mental health should be an important public subject around the world. It is sometimes difficult for people to cope with crowded public events when they have an anxiety disorder. Okay? Let's practice now, guys. Do you know what the difference is between a psychologist and a psychiatrist? Yes, I know. A psychiatrist is a doctor who has a degree in medicine and can give medication, while a psychologist does not need a degree in medicine and normally focuses on therapy. Have you ever met anybody who suffers from depression? Yes, I have met somebody who suffers from depression. Are there many different types of mental disorders? Yes, there are many different types of mental disorders. What is Mr. Webb doing on Saturday? Mr. Webb has a therapy appointment with his psychologist on Saturday. Do you push yourself when something is a challenge for you? Yes, I push myself when something is a challenge for me. Can it be hard to control our anxiety before an exam? Yes, it can be hard to control our anxiety before an exam. Do you need to be a confident person to speak well in public? Yes, you need to be a confident person to speak well in public. Do you know anybody who suffers from a mental disorder? Yes, I know somebody who suffers from a mental disorder. Do you think that people who have anxiety can control it? No, I don't think that people who have anxiety can control it. Is it a challenge to study a foreign language? Yes, it is a challenge to study a foreign language. Is there a beautiful view from the top of the Eiffel Tower in Paris? Yes, there is a beautiful view from the top of the Eiffel Tower in Paris. Can you rely on your teacher to help you learn English well? Yes, I can rely on my teacher to help me learn English well. Do you know any shrinks? Yes, I know some shrinks, not a lot of shrinks. Do people need to be confident when they are in a challenge? Yes, people need to be confident when they are in a challenge. Have you ever pushed yourself to do something you didn't want to do? Yes, I have already pushed myself to do something I didn't want to do. Who can you rely on to help you with English grammar? I can rely on my teacher Rachel to help me with English grammar. Very nice, guys. So this is the end of today's lesson, today's new content. Please study and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.